Hare Krishna. I should definitely do a product placement for a crystal geyser. It's always here. Hi. My name is Vaisesika Dasa. Welcome. Hare Krishna. Welcome, everybody, to ISKCON of Silicon Valley. It's a festive atmosphere here. And no wonder, this is the international site for Krishna consciousness. Krishna means bliss and happiness, and it all emanates from a supreme person, the supreme person. And Krishna consciousness is simple because it's reality. And being out of alignment with reality is difficult. We can experience it from seeing the whole world and the state of the world. Yoga means to come back in alignment with reality. Reality is Krishna. And Krishna is always happy and full of everything that we're looking for. That's why he's called Bhagavan. He has all opulences. So today, I'll talk about a few of the tenets of Krishna consciousness, hopefully ones that we can take with us on a very practical level. Because life moves so fast, it's helpful to have practical ways in which we can hold on to the practice without being swept away by our other duties. And a little bit goes a long way. No one has to move into a cave high in the Himalayas. And anyone can practice Krishna consciousness starting from the simplest level. And that's okay because it's an unlimited prospect. Just as the sky's unlimited and birds fly in the sky, some fly higher than others. But because the sky's unlimited, it doesn't matter what level you're at. Wherever you want to start, that's fine. So no one should also feel self-conscious that, well, others are doing more than I am. It just so happens that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Swalpam apyasa dharmasya trayate mahato bhayate. If you're even able to do a tiny bit, he says, you'll help yourself in ways that are beyond anything else you can do in this world, to try to arrange your life, organize it so that you feel comfortable. Has anybody ever tried to do that, or is that what you're doing a lot? It's all I do ever, is try to get comfortable, but it never works. I've noticed that, for instance, with temperature, if I get in somebody's car and I'm too warm, I'll take off my jacket, and as soon as I do, they'll turn up the air conditioner. Then if I put my jacket back on again, then they'll turn on the heat. And that's kind of a paradigm for the way everything goes in the material world. We're always trying to adjust, but it's not really adjustable to the point that we can find complete equilibrium in the material world. It's always changing. It's the nature of the material world. But we can adjust internally, and that's what Krishna consciousness is about. It's about taking charge of our own lives by developing our spiritual Krishna consciousness. And that way, wherever we go, we remain centered and we remain aware of what's the most important aspect of life. And we also feel happiness from within. So those are a few of the points that I'll talk about in a general way, and I'll give some specifics also. And I'd like to point out that this is an organization that was founded by one person, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is following a tradition of teachers who have painstakingly passed down this spiritual technology and wisdom for millennia. And they're motivated by a sense of what's called paradukha dukhi. As all of you know, dukh means misery. And paradukha dukhi means that a very evolved person develops a sense of compassion, or as the phrase paradukha dukhi says, a sense of suffering because other people are suffering. In other words, I don't feel happy if other people are unhappy. It's kind of the opposite of the way the material world works, or material consciousness, that is, I only feel happy when other people are unhappy. Or at least when they are unhappy, no matter what I portray externally, internally, I'm thinking, okay, that's good. This is Parasukha Dukkhi. So, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, again, as many of the teachers have done over generations, painstakingly passed on Krishna consciousness to make sure that everyone in the world had an opportunity to recharge. Just like if you're going to have electric cars, you have to have a place to recharge them. And nowadays we notice, or many of you have electric cars, I noticed, so you probably noticed that there are stations to charge them, otherwise you probably wouldn't have gotten one. So we're spiritual beings, and we need a place to hook in. So our founder, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, knew that, and he established charging stations all over the world. That took a lot of work. He actually flew around the world 14 times. And that was within just a few years, a little more than a decade. He took his first flight ever on an airplane from New York to San Francisco around 1966. And that was the first time ever on an airplane. After that, he practically never got off an airplane. He was going to every continent except Antarctica. And we're still waiting for a volunteer who likes penguins to go there. Because penguins are people too, and they would like to have a little spiritual consciousness there, I'm sure. So, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada said that the secret to his success, and he was very successful. In fact, he was mentioned in a major publication as one of the most successful late bloomers. That is, people who, after the age 65, had huge economic successes, built enterprises, and so forth. Well, he started a worldwide movement after the age of 65 and developed it, looked out over it. He wrote thousands of letters. There was no internet at the time, kids. And he also made students all over the world and instilled in them the same idea, paradukha dukkhi, of doing good for others, feeling bad when other people feel bad, and trying to help them. And that's the basis of our movement. It's a helping movement. It's a movement for outreach. It's not meant for a particular culture. It's not meant just for Americans or for Chinese or Russians or Indians. It's a universal teaching that transcends any country or culture. It's applicable everywhere. And therefore, anywhere you go on any of the 6 continents besides Antarctica, you'll find a charging station like this. Somewhere you'll find it. You can look it up, and you can either find a center like this, or there are individuals who will be holding regular classes, programs, events in their homes or apartments and so forth, worldwide, everywhere. Even right now during the catastrophic event that's taking place in Ukraine, there are thousands, tens of thousands actually of devotees there who are going out and feeding people right now, giving them prasadam and chanting so that people who have lost their homes and their families are split apart can have some solace. So we're fortunate. We have this opportunity here in opulent Silicon Valley to congregate here, to come on a regular basis. We're open 24 hours, not in a row, but we do have our hours that everyone can come here, and Sunday is one of the best days because everyone feels compelled on Sunday to have a spiritual recharge before he or she goes back into the work-a-day routine. Am I correct about that? Yeah, it's very important. So one of the ways in which Srila Prabhupada started his international society and helped raise the consciousness of millions of people around the world is by a simple process called sankirtan. So this word is two. It's a dual word, sam and kirtan. Kirtan comes from the root word kirti, which means to make somebody famous, to extol someone's virtues. And when we extol the virtues of Bhagavan, who means the supreme person, the one from whom all other people and all other elements emanate, the source of everything, who's all benevolent, who's omniscient, who's omnipotent, there's a natural way in which we connect with that personality and all of his energies. And in the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was an incarnation of Krishna who appeared in West Bengal 550 years ago, he said that the Supreme has unlimited names. He's called by different people from different angles of seeing different names. For instance, we may in English say S-U-N, sun. And in Spanish, one would say soul. In Hindi, one would say Surya. And what other, who else would like to contribute something from another language? Anyone from sun? Samoan? You can speak Samoan? See, I can't understand anything through the mask. It sounds. I know sun in Samoan. Go ahead.
No, in Tamil also it's Suryan. So.
Surya, okay. So similarly, Krishna has unlimited names. And the names of the Supreme have all the same potencies as the Supreme himself. There's no difference because he's an absolute entity. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said you should sing these names. And how sing them? Sam means together. So sankirtan means you come together and then sing out loud the names of the Supreme. And from that process, one can derive the highest spiritual benefit. In fact, you can attain complete perfection in the spiritual practices by simply singing the names. Now, you can also do it individually, and this is another process called japa. Everyone say japa. So japa is a personal, prayerful expression to the Supreme. And you can use the names that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. We use the mantra specifically that he received from his spiritual master, and it's called the Maha Mantra. It goes like this. You please repeat after me. I'll say it 2 words at a time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. The first time I heard that mantra, it was in Berkeley, California, on Sproul Plaza, University of California, Berkeley. I was too young to go to school there, but my parents went there, and there was a lot of activity in Berkeley. My father had his office on Telegraph Avenue, so although I lived in Lafayette, we'd come into Berkeley a lot, and I used to hear the sankirtan, because there'd be a group of chanters on Sproul Plaza, and when we drive by them in the car, I'd hear Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, and there was just something about that sound vibration that really stuck in my mind. I think it planted a seed somewhere in my heart. And years later, when I became concerned about what was going to happen in this lifetime, around my high school days, that mantra came back to me. And the practice of chanting the mantra leads to amazing destinations. In fact, the most amazing of all destinations, which is the topmost portion of the spiritual world, according to the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's a mantra that anybody can chant anywhere. It's portable, and it awards one the highest spiritual benefit. So the way it goes is that someone will chant it, and the others will repeat. And if you do it as japa, then you can just say it aloud to yourself. For instance, it's highly recommended that when you get up in the morning, you have a plan to perform this japa meditation. Take a little time, even if it's a minute. If you take 1 minute, 60 seconds, to just let everything else go to the side and then repeat the mantra so you can hear it like this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We gradually notice an envelopment. Envelopment means you become enveloped by the sound, the vibration itself. And the ancient scriptures that teach about this say that by staying in contact with that sound vibration, then you'll start to develop good qualities. And the kind of clenching that takes place, that I have to hold on to my bad habits, it starts to loosen very magically by the power of that mantra. And anyone can try that for him or herself. So these two ways of practicing this kind of yoga are to sing together in a group and also to chant individually. And one will notice the difference. So I thought today it would be a good idea if we try the chanting as a group. Would you like to try it? Okay, so we'll try singing the Hare Krishna mantra as a group, and for a few minutes, and then we can go into a brief discussion about some of the philosophical points and some of the practical points that I promised or advertised earlier. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying a few introductory mantras. You can follow with me if you want, and then we'll go into the call and response type activity just after that, when we'll use the Hare Krishna mantra. And the mantra, by the way, all the mantras we sing will be projected on the screen so that you can follow them if you wish. And if you don't wish to, you can also just listen, because the sound vibration itself will be purifying. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Sri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadeshatarne. That was a prayer to our spiritual master, brought the chanting of Hare Krishna all over the world. There's a way to approach the practice by honoring one's spiritual teachers first. And then the next one goes like this. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani Gaura Bhaktavrinda. And these are the names of the last avatar of Krishna who appeared in the world 550 years ago, and his associates who came to teach specifically this process of chanting Hare Krishna. And their mission statement, they were a business, they were registered as a real business, was to spread it to every town and village. And we're all part of that enterprise that they brought out. Now we come to the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai Gaura Hari Bo. Thank you, everyone. Beautiful singing. Well done. Hare Krishna. And now here are a few ideas for our contemplation and improvement. Why do I live the way I do? Does anybody have an answer to that? Do you know how you live? Have you observed your living style lately? Yes? You can just live and not observe, but if you take a look at it, oftentimes we notice how we're living when other people come to see us, because you clean up the house really fast, right? Then you go like, this is not how we live. This is how we live. It's like, when you come. So we have a default mode that we're all in. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains this. He says that we're working according to the nature we've developed. And the way he says we develop a particular nature is by association. And culture means that there's a gradual process through which we progress from one state to another. We can transform ourselves from one state to another. If we leave it to chance, then the tendency is to drift. And when we drift, there's a process, there's a phenomena in the material world called samsara. And it's sometimes compared to a whirlpool. When you get caught in a whirlpool, it's very difficult to get out. In any current, strong current of water, it's difficult to get out. And it can easily be dragged to somewhere you don't want to go. Therefore, one has to be a little deliberate in the kind of culture that one takes up. So this is called sadhana. Everyone please say sadhana. Sadhana means a practice to reach a goal. So this means that one has to be purposeful about one's life. And we can upgrade the kind of lifestyle that we have now. Anybody want an upgrade? Okay, if you didn't raise your hand fast enough, let's try it again. These are freebies, so anybody like a life upgrade? Yeah, go for it. You get a car. You get a car. Okay, because of conditioning by the three modes of material nature, we're the way we are, but we can improve. And this just happens to be the time to improve. What time am I talking about? The human span of life that we have. We do have a determined amount of time that we get in this body. By the way, just check and see that you have a body. Be aware. Don't be afraid. We're sometimes not aware that we're in a body. Check it out. This is government property. It's not yours. I hate to disturb everybody tonight, but it's not your property. It's not my property. It's government property. It belongs to the universe. The universe belongs to someone named Ishwar who controls the universe and owns it. So it's not our property. That's good news, actually, because if you want to keep this thing, it takes it takes maintenance anyway. But if you get attached to it and think, I have to keep it, you're going to be in a lot of anxiety. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna advises us to look at our bodies and our life situation in a slightly different way, in a radically different way, actually. And that is that it's not our body, and that there's a particular lifespan we have. It's called the Ayu. Along with the birth, it's already, if you had one of those countdown timers like they had for Y2K, is anybody alive at that time? A lot of youngsters in here, okay. There's a Y2K was this time when the world was supposed to end. And Ramanan is laughing because he runs all the electronics. So I imagined during that time, because I saw countdown timers coming for Y2K when the world was going to end. And I thought it would be nice if each one of us got one of those at the time that we were born for the time we had in our body. And you could wear it as a little lapel pin, and then it counts down. We'd probably interact with one another a little differently. It's like, oh, yeah, you only have 6 days. I'm not going to ask you a lot of silly questions. You just do your spiritual work. So we have a lifespan, and we can be in this body. And if we take up sadhana, everyone say sadhana. Means what? Yes, spiritual practice towards a goal, towards this ultimate goal. The humans are specifically designed for this. The human body is a machine. It's a portal through which we can take up spiritual practice. According to the ancient wisdom literatures, animals are also, every animal should be respected. It's part of God also, but the soul within is the same as us, only they have a slightly different apparatus. They have their own genius, no doubt, but it's that their perceptual horizon is much shorter than the human being is capable of. And therefore, they see more in terms of day-to-day activities, how to build a little dam or a web so that they can feed their families. On Maslow's pyramid, they're near the bottom. Once they fulfill those missions in their life of getting enough food, then the higher ideas about self-actualization are not within their perceptual horizon. So this is the teaching of the Vedas, that human beings are specifically designed for that. So they say, do the Vedas, ancient wisdom literatures, that we have the power to improve ourselves. Don't think that you can't rise. You can. Everyone can rise in due course of time. You can improve yourself. You just need two things. You need knowledge and practice. So practice is called what? Sadhana. And then the other word in Sanskrit, which we should make popular here in Silicon Valley, is jnana. Everyone say jnana. Jnana means knowledge. So if you have these two things, you can improve yourself. So how can you improve? It's a good question. Here's a few basic tenets of the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. Very basic. And I'll read them out, and then we'll go over them individually and see if we can put them to use. It comes under the category of be aware who you are. Everyone say that, please. Yeah, because it's possible to just be absorbed in our external dealings in life and not even question who we are. Do you ever hear the statement, an unexamined life is not worth living? You've heard that? Yeah. Okay, so that's what the Vedas say. That's what the Bhagavad Gita says also. Examine who you are. Find out who you are. And here are a few aspects of that. First of all, let's try this. I want you to close your eyes. And all kids in the world, don't make a noise. Thank you. Okay. First thing, eyes closed. Feel positively that you exist. Feel positively that you exist. Close your eyes and just feel positively that you exist. Next, be aware that you're aware. Be aware that you're aware. Next, notice that you're guided by intelligence. Notice that you're guided by intelligence. Next, see your mind as a movie screen that's playing a movie about your life. See your mind as a movie screen that's playing a movie about your life. Okay, let's open our eyes. I'll just take a few reactions to how you felt. Was there any spontaneous combustion? See, this just came in from Washington, D.C. Even they're watching out there. Okay, so how did it feel to take a moment, and that's all we took was a moment, to, number one, feel positively that we exist. Any of these elements? We'd like to hear, this is a little laboratory. How did you feel? You're living entities, you can report back. Yes? Oh, you're raising your hand for something. Yes, please.
I was feeling right away very grateful and started noticing all the things that I already have.
Well, that's powerful. You know, if you, in the moment you can stop and experience that, feel positively exist and feel gratitude. That's extremely beneficial emotion to have. Were you going to say something? No. Okay. Anybody else? Or is this too private? You don't want to share? Okay. Over here, Monisha and the Ashaya Madhava. Sharing means caring.
I was in the present moment, so I wasn't thinking about like my to-do list and the future.
What did she say? I need a translation because of the mask.
She wasn't thinking about the future.
She was what? She was feeling like she was in the present moment? Not thinking about her? To-do list. Yes, just to be in the moment. Feel positively that you exist. Ashaya Madhava.
Yeah, I felt that that what I used to think as myself is something different from me. I was aware of what you used to think as myself.
Okay, this is an important point also. When we become aware of our own awareness and we become situated in the moment, we can also start observing our physical bodies. Oftentimes, I don't do this. I just think, I am my body. And this is a mistake. I'm not my body, I'm a resident in the body temporarily. I'm just passing through. At a certain point, I was awarded this body by material nature. I came out, there was a few people standing over me and said, you know, hey, you're here now. Might as well get used to it. And here's your new name. And then, it's like, by the way, you got to go to kindergarten. You're kidding me, right? Then, all these other things you have to do in relationship to the body. It's all relationship to the body, but we're not our bodies. You can also objectify the body very easily from this position when you become aware that you're pure awareness. You can notice that I have a hand. It's not that I am my hand. You can also notice that you have a belly. It's working. You're not the belly. You can also notice, as we did, your intelligence. And it's like a parent that's giving advice. I'm not my intelligence either. I'm waiting for it to offer me suggestions and say, do this, not that. So this way, this is an important centering device through which, as human beings, and we have the capability to do this, we become aware that we exist, we can become aware of our awareness, become aware of our intelligence, and we can become aware of the mind. And notice that it's playing a movie which is called our life situation. It's just situational. Is it a situational comedy? Known as a sitcom? For you? Not really, huh? You're not laughing so hard about it. So we may experience horrors, we may see loss, gain, and so forth. These are taking place as if in a movie. Now, you've been to a movie before, and you'll notice that when you go and sit down, you get absorbed in the movie or a play. If you watch a really good drama, you get carried away by it. In fact, this was a technique that people used to use in order to experience the fact that they weren't their bodies. They'd go to plays, and they'd become so absorbed in the plot that they'd forget that they were their body. They'd actually have an out-of-body experience. This is one of the ways that ancients used to notice the difference between their bodies and their selves. So we can do that also by just becoming aware of our own awareness and noticing how the mind is showing us the situation of our lives. But that's a movie. That's going on, and we don't, just as we don't have to watch the movie in the movie theater, you can decide any time to get up and walk out and go like, hey, I have a separate existence. I don't have to cry in this movie today or go through all the emotions that the movie's showing me. So this is a basis through which we can improve. First, we have to become aware of our nature, of our existence. And anyone can do it. It just takes a minute to take a look and see. Okay? Yes? Okay. Next is these next points, 4 points I'm going to give you, are Bhakti Yoga principles for deliberately improving your life. Bhakti Yoga principles for deliberately improving your life. You still want to improve your lives? Okay, 1, 2, only 2 people. All right, okay. First one is cultivate humility. Somebody look up humility, please. And one of the statements that goes along with this mood of humility that you can practice is, I need help. Everyone say, I need help. I need help. So if we admit that we need help, then, and we keep this humble mood that I'm helpless. This is one of the moods of being in humility, is that I'm not the controller. And we admit I need help. This is a foundational point of the teachings of bhakti. You have to start from this point of humility. And humility, according to the, is it Webster's or the Apple Dictionary?
Etymology.
Oh, the etymological dictionary. Go for it.
Humility is a noun from the early 14th century, quality of being humble, and from French, humilité, humility, modesty, sweetness, and from Latin, humilitatum, lowness, small stature, insignificance, baseness, littleness of mind, and in Church Latin, meekness, from humilis, lowly, humble, literally on the ground.
Okay, from that we'll take out insignificant. And now there's a parallel phrase in the teachings of bhakti called akinchana. Everyone say akinchana. Kinchana and akinchana. So we just said akinchana, and the word kinchana means something. And akinchana, when you put a short a in front of the word, akinchana means nothing. I don't have anything. If you're in the state of akinchana, it means you have this sense that I'm helpless. I don't have anything. I need help. So that's the first principle. What's the first principle? Just say, I need help. I need help. Be humble and accept the principle of akinchana. Okay, there's going to be a quiz in a minute, so please pay attention. Okay, next one is accept guidance from experts. What's the second one? Yeah, if I'm the smartest one in the room, I'm in the wrong room. Find the room where the experts are. If you think, well, there's no experts, I'm the smartest guy on the planet, then there's no room for improvement. You're already there. Don't worry about it. But if you are humble and you say, I need help, then you have to start looking, who are the people that can help me? Because it's the fastest way in any discipline to improve yourself, is find out where the experts are and then approach them in a very humble mood and say, can you help me? I need help. And if they're magnanimous, they'll say, yeah, you sit down here and I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to show you how to improve your life. So what's the second principle? And what's the first one? I need help. Okay, here's the third bhakti principle. Practice without fear of failure. Practice without fear of failure. Our work in the material world is necessary because we have to maintain the body, especially here in Silicon Valley. Other places, just grow a little garden and you'll be okay. Silicon Valley, you got to work hard. So all the hard work we put into everything, eventually it'll slip through our hands. It's necessary. We have to do it, but keep in mind that whatever material assets we gain are only temporary. They'll be here for today and they'll be gone tomorrow. However, whatever spiritual assets you develop means awareness of your higher consciousness, awareness of the source of your consciousness, Krishna, the Supreme Person, and the development of a taste for doing spiritual practice. This is called spiritual strength. When you get that, this is a permanent asset. Even if sometime you forget it for a little while, it'll still be there for you. It will come back. It's an asset you never lose. Sounds like an advertisement for some insurance product. But actually, this is the real insurance. So practice without fear of failure. You should know for certain that when you take these steps, there's no risk and all gain. Whereas in our material endeavors, although they're necessary and you have to work, it's all risk and no gain. Did I say it right? Spiritual practice, all gain, no risk. Material endeavors, although necessary, all risk, no gain. Is that a good algebraic expression? Okay. And the next one is, this is under these are the four principles for bhakti yoga for deliberately improving your life. The next one is assume a practical service attitude. Assume a practical service attitude. Everyone say. Yeah, and this is epitomized by the statement, how can I do good for others? How can I do good for others? Go ahead. How can I do good for others? Yes. So we are essentially eternal parts and parcels of Krishna, and our nature is, and our propensity is for service. We're happy when we're engaged in service, and I'll give you an example that Srila Prabhupada gave frequently in order to make a thought bridge so we can remember the point. A little screw. If you find a tiny screw on the ground and try to sell it on eBay, you eBay executives, you can let me know if this is true, you're not going to get much for it. How much is a screw? One tiny screw from the road. How much on eBay? 50 cents? That's a lot. I'm going to go looking for some. No. All I need is to find 1 million of them. And, a tiny screw is worth barely anything. However, a tiny screw belongs somewhere in a machine. When it's in the machine and it's holding up its part of the service, it's very valuable. And you don't want it to fall out. You'll take care of it. Little screw, please stay in there. We love you. But as soon as little screw falls out, it's like, not worth the trouble trying to sell it on eBay, right? So we're like that. We're tiny, insignificant, humble, but when we're connected in service to the Supreme, to the complete whole, Krishna, then we become inestimably, that's a hard word to say, valuable, like the screw when it's connected to the machine. So what connects us? Service. We have a service connection to the Supreme, and this is bhakti. You can use your work. You can engage in your family in service. You can use your, anybody here have a car? Okay, give it over. No, I'm just kidding. You can use your car in service. Anybody here have money? Yes. Give it over. Now I'm not kidding. No, I'm just kidding. You can use your money in service. And by the way, it's a wise proposition to try to give it in service before it's taken from you, because someone's going to come along and claim it. One of your cousins, he's sick, you're the only one in the family, he's got a lot of money, you got to take care of him, there goes $20,000 right there. And you thought you were going to keep it. No, you're not. So the more you can engage it by connecting it to the Supreme, your car, your money, your family, then you'll feel like the screw that's connected to the machine. So this is one of the teachings, main teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. Don't throw anything away. You don't have to abandon it. No going to a cave. Just keep everything engaged in its proper place. And when you do that, then you're called a sannyasi. Anybody here want to be a sannyasi? Say yes. Yes. Yeah. So some people think of a sannyasi, you have to wear orange cloth and you have to carry a rod around and everything. But the word sannyas, if you break it down, actually, a nyas means where you place something, to put it in the proper place. You know the saying, a place for everything and everything in its place? Yes, those of you who have organized homes, that you know this. So a place for everything and everything in its place, this is called nyas. You know where it goes. Just like with when we put these marks of tilak on it, this is called a nyas, because it goes here, 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 here. And so sang means everything. So sannyas, when you know where everything belongs and you put it there, like you put the screw back in the machine, whatever it is, house, car, family, body, everything, then you're in the state of sannyas, putting everything in its right place. So you can be everyone can be a sannyasi. Okay, so what are the 4 principles? I know, very good. We've got too many geniuses in here. This is not fair. Okay, number 2? Yeah, whatever you said, I couldn't understand. So number 3? Correct. Number 4? Very good. A+ for everybody. Okay, so now you've got some philosophical points, and actually points of introspection that anyone can use. Take a minute every day to think about who you are. The unexamined life is not worth living. Don't just go on watching the movie, but notice who you are. Now there's some practical application to this. Be humble. And then accept guidance from experts. Find an expert and say, like, I need help. Next one, practice without fear of failure. Remember, it's all gain, no risk. And number 4, get a service attitude, and then get connected to some service and learn how to put everything in its place, how it can be engaged in service. So far, so good? Okay, we have a few more for you. Here's some philosophical remedies for stress. Remedy means chikitsatam in Sanskrit. Chikitsatam means there's a way in which you can overcome suffering by adjusting your consciousness. Say chikitsatam. Chikitsatam, yeah, it's a remedial, it's a like medical. Look up the word medical, because it has a connotation that means something. So chikitsatam, and here are a few of the philosophical remedies for stress. You are not the material gross or subtle coverings. Say, I am not the material gross or subtle coverings. I'm an Atma that never dies. Both unhappiness and happiness come of their own accord. The world works in an ordered manner. You already are something. You needn't try so hard to become something. Okay, so did you find medical? The word med, what does that mean?
The word med means to take appropriate measures.
To take appropriate measures. Medicine, medical, it means to take appropriate measures. So these help align us so that we can take appropriate measures. First of all is to embrace the concept that I'm not the body. And we've talked about that a little bit, and we've even experienced it and how easy it is to conceptualize that by objectifying the mind, the body, and the intelligence. The next one is to remember that we never die. We're on a continuum as souls, as atmas. We're moving from one situation to the next. And I'll give you an example. If you've ever been in a Zoom meeting and they put you into little groups and then they break you out of the groups, that's what it's like to die. So the first time I was on the Bhakti community and they said, we're going to break into groups. And I said, okay, which group am I going to go to? And they said, you're going to all of them. So I didn't know where I was going or how. I was just sitting there on my Zoom room, flying along, and I ended up in a room somewhere, like, hi, everybody, how are you? And we talked for about 4 minutes, and all of a sudden, boop, I was in the next room. I was like, oh, I get it. I have no control over this. And I went into the next room, and I was talking to all the people there, and then next room, next room, next room, every 4 minutes. And so when we came back into the big group, I had this uncanny awareness that this is what I've been going through in this world again and again and again. I'm the same person, just getting pushed into different rooms. So we're the steady, we're the actual conscious entity that never dies. You can't be killed, you can't be cut, you can't be dried up and then wither away. You can't be drowned either. The soul can exist anywhere, in any environment. It's anti-material, or it's beyond the material elements. It's categorically different. We are categorically different. And so this is a perspective that is extremely important to keep for relieving oneself of stress. And now the next one is a little more controversial. Unhappiness and happiness come of their own accord, but it's true. So I'm talking about material happiness or comfort, certain level, what we're going to get in the material world. And let me prove the point that happiness and unhappiness come of their own accord. Who here wakes up in the morning and asks for some kind of catastrophe or suffering to come into their life? Who does that prayer? Raise your hand. No takers? You wake up in the morning, oh, please let the IRS call today. And we need an audit here. And whatever that might be that disturbs my mind, we try to avoid that. Does it ever come anyway? Yeah, we have consensus on that. And so the Srimad Bhagavatam says, in the same way that these unwanted events come into our life, even though we try to ward them off, a horseshoe, Americans, they put up a horseshoe. It's good luck, it's supposed to keep. And don't get me started in India, how many talismans you have to ward off bad fortune and invite good fortune, but they're all over the place. Everything's got to be in its place. it still comes of its own accord. So Narada Muni uses this as proof that these are already dialed in on the material level. You're going to get a certain amount of happiness and distress. Doesn't mean you don't work. You have to maintain your body and do the best you can with what you have, but there are limitations on the material side. So if you understand that and you be inventive, do the best you can for your material comforts, you'll have enough. And you don't have to worry too much about huge accumulations. They'll come of their own accord, and they'll also be taken away on their own accord, or by the force of nature. But what Narada says is, do work hard for spiritual advancement. Okay, and it goes along with the next one, which is the world works in an ordered manner. Everything is exactly the way it should be. And this is mentioned in the Shri Upanishad in the mantra, Om Purnam Adah Purnamidam. And it goes on from there, but it talks about Purnam, how everything's complete and perfect. You don't have to rearrange the world, but you just have to adjust your consciousness and connect it to the Supreme, and then you'll feel complete and whole. And the way that Srila Prabhupada talks about it in his commentary to this verse that I just mentioned is that all forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. All forms of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete whole. That's what we're trying to fill in here. That's why if we have a little knowledge and we understand how we're connected to the complete whole and a little practice to know how to actually connect to the complete whole, then we'll feel complete and we'll see that the world is a complete place. Everything's the way it should be. Okay, not that there aren't anomalies in the world and atrocities, but I'm saying that these are all taking place in an ordered fashion. It's not chaos. Okay, and finally I said you already are something. You needn't try so hard to become something. So oftentimes I'm always looking at the next thing. When I was in kindergarten, I admired the kids that were in second grade. My brother was in second grade ahead of me, and I was thinking, God, when am I going to be in second grade? And then it was fifth grade. And then when am I going to be in junior high school? How about high school? Yeah, but you're not a senior. Get out of here. You know, so there's always something more that I'm endeavoring for. In fact, when I took a picture at the airport when we were coming back. By the way, we were forced to go through O'Hare Airport. Although I used to live in that airport, I don't recommend going through it as much as I used to. Yeah, I took a picture of the sign. It says right here, "95% of air travelers are likely to visit a tourist attraction after learning about it at the airport." Hey, you're in transit, you're going somewhere else, and then you see that's like, go there. Everywhere we go, someone says, go somewhere else. There is nowhere else. You're only here, and when you get there, you're going to be the same person. So you might as well work on yourself and not try to go somewhere else all the time. Become something else. Of course, we try to improve ourselves materially, spiritually, but be aware of the fact that you're already something so amazing that it's not that you're incomplete. You're already complete. You just have to realize it. And then all your endeavors will make more sense. Always trying to fill in the gap by going to the mall, or I just need to get another degree, something, whatever it is, it doesn't complete us. It never does. We have to start from the inside. I've said a lot of stuff, and we're almost out of time. I really ran down the clock. I'll take a couple of reflections, just two. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for a wonderful class. Maharaj, a question on humility. Like I was reading the translation, the ability to feeling importance. So I have this personal issue where one is, of course, the physical aspect of, offering dandavats or even in, for that matter, in any society, whether it's at work, spiritual, doing what is required physically. but mentally the aspect of, portraying myself as something very important in the whatever small group I'm associated with, that is a habit which is not going.
One thing you can try is the physical aspect of offering respects to others. So if you try it, let's give a demonstration. Bart, you show how to offer an obeisance. You move the drum so everyone can see you. Just, with your head on the ground. Now that's like a stick. It's called Dandavats. Now thank you. Put your head and your shoulder like this. So there are some groups, they do this, they stop 4 or 5 times a day, and they, wherever it is, on top of their taxi cab, anywhere, because this is actually a spiritual practice. And the Vaishnavas do it too. Anyone who's doing this to God, they'll feel better about themselves. And if you realize that God's in everyone's heart, and you offer this kind of respect, now don't try this at the office. They're not going to appreciate it. When I was in Vrindavan just recently, everyone gets it because you feel at home there because it's a spiritual environment. And if you offer obeisance like that to anyone, they'll appreciate it, the gesture. But you can do this also. This has become a more popular sign. Try this. Turn to somebody next to you and go like this. And realize there's a soul and God's next to the soul in the heart and offer obeisance. Do it again. Just keep doing it. And you'll feel better. Really, it's okay to do this. In fact, it's one of the teachings Krishna gives in the Bhagavad Gita, Namaskaru. He says, offer your obeisances like this. It's so simple. Bhakti's simple. I said it was simple in the beginning, right? That's how simple it is. So if you can't intellectualize humility, just do it. And then it'll come into your mind. Okay, one more quick question or point. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for the nice class. I just have one question. We talked about the 3 gunas earlier. Does sattva includes working impetus?
Does it include working impetus? Not so much. That's why you have a little rajas in the right proportion in order to work. But when you engage the propensity to work in Krishna's service, it becomes transcendentalized.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much. You also need a little tamas too, otherwise you can't get to sleep at night. Okay, so let's chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Ram Ram, Hare Hare. escalating. We're moving to the Hare Krishna dance party. We got this building for the floor. Everything else was, we weren't that interested. But this floor is meant for dancing. So we're going to move all the obstacles out of your way. And feel free to sway, or you can learn a new dance step, or you can dance with abandon on this floor, and no one will mind. It's part of the Bhakti Yoga practice to dance to the chanting. So thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you in about 30 seconds. Hare Krishna. Yeah, this is the real article, right? I'll have to get everyone one of these.
Special water or the water is like
Pardon?
that's
Yes.
thing. The water is it like a special some water or like
No, it's just purified water.
oh just like
It works really well. You can, like,
Yeah, it goes right on the thing. I know. I knew you'd be happy because you don't have to go to another state to do it, right? Can you put that in when you're actually busy?
It's working? Doesn't like this entire right? Remove that board. Perfect. Working, right? Excuse me. Haribol, Haribol.
Thank you. Cartels. Namo Vishnu Padaya. Everyone. Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Everybody. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good speed control. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go Premanande. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotarashishiman Abhay Charanaravindra Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajikacharya Stotarashishiman Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavini Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Jamuna Devi, Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Sambeta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo. Baba. Sing.
Namaste Narashingaya Jai Gaur Premanande Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We thank you all for visiting to the ISV of Silicon Valley for this auspicious day on the day of Ekadashi. Thank you all for coming. So let's thank all the devotees who have come here and also joined us online. Today's Krishna Katha was brought to us by His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu. So let's express our gratitude and thank him for bringing us this Krishna Katha. And also thank him for leading the ecstatic Aarti. We also like to thank Bhakta Madhav for leading the Narsimha Aarti. Anyone coming for the first time to the temple here? Thank you for coming. Here, thank you. Thank you for coming. And we'd like to chant one Mahamantra for the newcomers. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have 3 sponsors for today's Sunday feast. Raj Prabhakaran Prabhu is sponsoring on the occasion of his daughter's birthday. So is Raj Prabhakaran Prabhu here? Okay. Let's thank him in his absentia for sponsoring the Sunday feast. Vrindavan Priya Prabhu is also sponsoring the Sunday feast on the occasion of Ekadashi and his wedding anniversary. So is Vrindavan Priya Prabhu? Oh, right here. Please come, Prabhu, and Mataji is also there.
What do you like best about ISKCON?
Please come here. Thank you, Vrindavan Priya Prabhu, for sponsoring today's feast. And may I ask... Yeah, please. May I ask the question?
Yes.
Okay. So how long have you been married now?
13 years.
Wow. You said teenage years. Yeah. So, thank you for sponsoring. And if you have anything to say, Prabhu?
What do you like best about ISV?
The Sunday Feast program. Yeah, I like coming back to Sunday Feast program with my family. It's been 13 years, and as many of you know, I started my journey in Krishna consciousness here at ISV while we were still back at the Bascom temple. So I was a student at that time. And then a few years later, I got married and then started a family. And it's been a very interesting journey so far. And all I can tell you in a nutshell is that this principle of keeping Krishna in the center in the family life, it really works. Without that, family life would be very, very hard, very tough. But association of the devotees and this principle of keeping Krishna in the center and engaging in service, that's been our saving grace, I would say. And we look forward to more years of association, and thank you very much for your prayers, blessings, and encouragement. Hare Krishna.
So I remember meeting you for the first time. We were distributing books in front of Namaste Plaza store. Me and Srivas Prabhu was there, and you and your friend from Stanford University, we were visiting that store, and you bought the book, and then you end up next week coming to the temple, and you had some questions, and those were answered, and here you are after so many years. Thank you. Prasad and So the next sponsor is Shrikish Prabhu and Neetu Mataji. They are sponsoring for the prayers that the devotees did when their baby was having complications. So they are sponsoring to thank the devotees. So is Shrikish and please, Prabhu, come here. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Thank you, Shrikish Prabhu, for sponsoring. Hope your baby is doing well and healthy. Okay, thank you. And would you like to say something?
Hare Krishna. Thank you everybody for praying for us during a tough time, had some complications. So yeah, with your blessing, with all of your blessings, he's very healthy and very naughty. So thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Here is Mahaprasad and a gift. Okay. So what's coming up next is on Thursday, we will be celebrating the auspicious appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hari Bol. Hari 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 Bol. And this time, it will not be online. It will all be here at the temple. So the program starts at 4:30 a.m. And there will be a Mangalarti, followed by the Kirtan. And there will be, I believe, the initiation ceremony. And then we will reconvene at 5 p.m. and we will have the Kirtan, the discourse, and the Abhishek, followed by Prasad. So please come with your family and friends. We hope to see you on that day. Thank you. So Her Grace Malini Mataji has something to share with us.
Hare Krishna. As Prabhu was mentioning about Gaur Purnima, which is coming up this Thursday, usually it's a tradition that before Gaur Purnima, we'd like to distribute a lot of Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. And we usually do it on the day of Gaur Purnima, but it being a weekday, we thought we'll give an opportunity for devotees today. If somebody would like to get a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita, or if they can sponsor a Chaitanya Charitamrita, you don't have to do just one. You can do 1, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100. So each Chaitanya Charitamrita set is a complete biography of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For those who have read these books, it comes in a golden cover, which signifies the golden avatar, Srimati Radharani and Krishna combined in golden form. And it's full of stories, and this is what we've been telling everybody. And everybody has been coming and getting sets, as many as possible. So today, we would like to give an opportunity for somebody who would like to sponsor. And it's just $99 only for the entire set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I would like to request His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu to say something, and then, looks like he needs one too.
I would like to sponsor 3.
Hari
Okay, I started an avalanche. Go ahead.
So His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu needs 3 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. It's $99 only.
Only.
And before we take other devotees' pledges, I don't want to exclude the online audience. So if you would like to sponsor a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita, you can text this number, 408-515-5292. The number again is 408-515-5292. And I think that will also be displayed by the broadcast team on the screen. Sorry, Kanka Mataji, to keep you waiting. Kanka Mataji would like to sponsor 2. Hare Krishna.
Haribol!
Haribol! 5 sets for Madhav. Mataji, your name? Lata. Sorry, with the mass, it is very hard to hear, so please don't mind me asking your name again. 7 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets for Lata. Okay, Siddhi Prabhu from the back. He wants to sponsor 10 Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Haribo!
Siddhi Prabhu is always eager for these fundraisers, but because he likes to sponsor for books. Okay. This is for Pavan Prabhu. Okay. Saumya wants to sponsor 1 Chaitanya Charitamrita set. Haribo! Who would you like to sponsor it for? She wants to sponsor 2 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm getting some text messages. And Shamalangi Mataji wants to sponsor 5 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Haribo!
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes. There is one in the Zoom. Preeti Radhika Mataji wants to sponsor 1 set.
Haribo!
Actually, she said she would like to sponsor 1 set. And then she said 1 more set for Ukraine devotees and all the folks. So total 2 sets.
Haribo! So we just came back from Vrindavan, my wife and I, and actually it was because of her we were able to go to Vrindavan. And when we were there, we went to the Samadhi Mandir of Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, who is the author of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, who is authorized by the Vaishnavas and by Nityananda Prabhu to write the story of the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu based on diaries that were taken by his personal servants. And while we were there, we were praying for the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita to become a world staple. Now people know about Bhagavad Gita, many know about Srimad Bhagavatam, but hardly anybody knows about Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Srila Prabhupada painstakingly brought it into English, and now it's in many other languages. So we asked for blessings at that place to be able to spread it all over the world. And we would like the revolution of that wide expansion of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita to start here at ISV because of the blessings it will bring to everybody who's part of this community, as well as everybody who lives in Silicon Valley. What do you think of the idea?
Haribo!
No, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think of it? 10 being like the best idea you ever heard.
11.
Okay, and that's how many you should aim for too, if you can.
Hare Krishna. We got some more text messages. Shashishekar Prabhu is texting that he would like to sponsor 1 Bhagavatam and 1 Chaitanya Charitamrita on behalf of his mother.
Haribo!
Prabhu, your name? Oh, sorry, Prabhu, with the mask. Keshav Krishna Prabhu wants to sponsor 4 Chaitanya Charitamrita set. Prabhu, your name? Saurav. Saurav Prabhu would like to sponsor 2 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Om Prabhu wants to sponsor 2 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets.
Haribo.
Om Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. There is one more on the Zoom message. Bhaktin Shraddha wanted to sponsor 10.
10!
Haribo!
Haribo!
Jai.
Way to go, Bhaktin Shraddha.
Nikunja Sundari wants to sponsor 5 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. Haribo! Mataji, your name? Shalini Mataji wants to sponsor 2 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. Shraddha Mataji. 5 sets from Sukarupa Mataji.
Haribo!
So you have to put my glasses. So this is a message from Ram Babu Prabhu. He would like to sponsor 5 sets in the name of Nayana Manjari, his daughter. Haribo!
Haribo.
This is Kaushik from Miami. He would like to sponsor 5 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Jai Kaushik. Hare Krishna.
So this is Nilachal Chandra. She wants to sponsor 1 set for her dad's good health.
Haribo. Malini.
Dheera Prashanta Prabhu would like to sponsor 2 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Bravo.
Bishwapati Prabhu wants to sponsor 1 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Bravo.
Last month, my father-in-law passed away, so I would like to sponsor 10 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita on his name.
Haribo.
And this is on behalf of Srivas Pandit Prabhu.
Haribo. Haribo.
Ashray Madhav Prabhu, 5 sets for spiritual progress of his parents. Jagarini Mataji, 3 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Haribo.
I would also like to sponsor 10 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita for Hansapriya's mom on behalf of her.
Haribo.
Oh, Prabhu, your name, Prabhu? Venkatesh Prabhu would like to sponsor 5 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. Okay. We have, Shamarupa Prabhu wants to sponsor 1 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mataji, your name? Vasanti Arun Kumar Mataji would like to sponsor 20. She would like
Haribo. Jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Vasanta Arun Kumar Mataji would like.
Myself and my husband, we came to Baskin Avenue. Yeah, you can see the mic.
Wow.
We came to Baskin Avenue to see Vaisesika Prabhu for the first time. We were introduced as the monks which kind of did the pilgrimage in Himalayas. Remember, and my husband died on April 7th last year. He's on Ekadasi day. His first anniversary is coming 2 weeks from now. I'd like to sponsor.
We pray for your husband, Mataji, and thank you so much for sponsoring 21 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Thank you.
Gaur Premanande Haribo.
Okay, this is a message from Kautukarna Prabhu. He said that Vamshi Mohan Prabhu is sponsoring 10 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Bravo.
And 10 sets by Kautukarna Prabhu for Natwar Nagar Nivas devotees.
Haribo.
Haribo.
I'd like to mention also about the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita that it's one of the most spiritually entertaining books of all the books that we have that one can read. It's informative, but it's also charming because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an Acharya Lila. He's teaching exactly how to enact the teachings of Lord Krishna from the Bhagavad Gita and from the Srimad Bhagavatam and integrate it into one's life. The great Acharya Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that if all the other books in the world somehow slid off into the ocean and were never found again, if the Chaitanya Charitamrita was left, there would be no loss because we'd still have everything complete in the one book. However, the book's not always been fully available. Just a couple hundred years ago when Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was looking for a copy of the
Chaitanya Charitamrita. At that time, it was available only in palm leaf, written by hand. And he had to search for many, many months in order to find one copy. Now it's available in mass printing. We can't take that for granted. It's an opportunity to make sure that it becomes a staple in everybody's home, everywhere. So what we're all doing here is actually like a yajna, where you're putting your grains and ghee into the fire. This offering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead will be fruitful for everyone who participates. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Got a message from Ashok Naranga Prabhu. He would like to sponsor 5 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Haribo! Okay.
One more set for Vrindavan Priya Prabhu and family on the occasion of their anniversary, with the deepest gratitude for the service you've been doing over the last decade plus. Thank you to all of you. Hare Krishna.
Haribo! Jai. And we have one from His Holiness Ritadvija Swami.
Yay! Thank you, Maharaj.
He's sponsoring 1 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Put up the Zoom so we can see who's there, please.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Maharaj.
Haribo!
Haribo! Thank you. We also have these Chaitanya Charitamritas in multiple languages. We now have them in Bengali too. So if you want to send it to your Bengali friends, it's a small one. It's only 4 volumes. So you can get that in all languages: Tamil, Telugu, Marathi, Hindi, English.
French, German, Russian, Chinese.
Okay. Okay. Radhakripa Prabhu sent a message. He said that Guru Maharaj said 10. So 10 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita he wants to sponsor.
Haribo!
Okay, Bharati Mataji would like to sponsor 1 set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Haribo!
Haribo! Because I said 10, I have to do 10, so 6 more, please, on behalf of Nirakula, to make it 10 total for me.
Jai Haribo! Okay, so if you want to match up, you can all... Okay. Oh!
Haribo!
Kunja Sevika Mataji is also matching hers. She's making 10. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Ananda Kishore Prabhu would like to sponsor 2 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Haribo!
Okay. Nikunja Sundari Mataji also wants to make it 10.
Haribo!
Thank you, Mataji. Okay. I think we'll just do 1 more minute.
Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1.
The 10 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita for Kunjari.
Jai Kunjari, Haribo. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8, Krishna 7, Krishna 6, Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3, Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point 025.
Shraddha Mataji. 1 set by Meera Mataji.
Haribo!
So, Aprameya.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is it? Okay. Aprame is sponsoring 4 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita on behalf of his dad.
Jai. Okay, last countdown. Krishna 10, Krishna 9, Krishna 8.
Oh. Archana would like to sponsor 2 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita for everybody's upliftment.
Haribo! Krishna 7,
Charuni-
Krishna 6.
Charunimai Prabhu would like to sponsor 2 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Haribo! Krishna 5, Krishna 4, Krishna 3.
Radhakripa Prabhu is sending. He would like to sponsor 5 sets in loving memory of his mother, Shanti Devidasi.
Haribo! Krishna 2, Krishna 1, Krishna point 5, Krishna point 125.
Oh,
Haribo!
Shri Gopal Prabhu 5 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrita. We will continue
On Gaur Purnima.
on Gaur Purnima, on the auspicious day of Gaur Purnima. So if you think that any of your friends feel left out, please ask them to come.
Oh,
on
there's a
that
lot of
day.
people left out. Thank you very much, everybody, for helping to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Literature distribution is one of the primary means through which spiritual ideas, or any ideas for that matter, become inculcated into society, and they stay there for generations to come. The distribution of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita fulfills the desire of many of the great acharyas, headed by the founder Acharya of ISKCON, Srila Prabhupada. So this is the best use of money. Money burns a hole in our pockets and becomes a source of anxiety, but when it's used in yajna, in sacrifice, it becomes the source of our not only liberation, but eternal happiness. And it enlightens people, whoever comes in contact with it. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Malini. Gaur Premanande.
Hari
Haribo.
Haribo.
Announce the cooks. Announce the cooks. But without looking.
Hare Krishna. Today's cooks are Ujjvala Rasa Mataji, Uttara Mataji, Sutar Malik Prabhu, Shriram Prabhu, Srinivas Prabhu, Rasamrita Shesha Prabhu, Kanika Mataji, Kalyani Mataji, Suryakun Prabhu, and Parth.
Haribo!
I think if there are no other announcement, we can go to Prasad Sevaya prayers.
Sharirad Vijaja Jotendriya Tahika Jibe Pele Vishaya Shogare Tarmaje Divayati Loba Moisu Durmati Take jeta katita samsare Krishna Boradoya Moy Tori Bare Jihva Jai Japrashadhana Dilobai Shayana Vritapa Radha Krishna Gunagao Preme Dako Shri Chaitanya Dihitai Preme Dako Shri Chaitanya Ditai Mahaprasade Govinde Nam Brahmani Vaishnave Sapa Punya Vatam Rajan Vishwaso Naivajan Prasade Sarva Dukanam Hani Rasyo Pajayate Prasana Chetaso Yashu Budi Parya Vatistate Tvayopa Bhukta Shagnamda Vasulankar Charchitaha Uchista Bojino Dasas Davamayam Jayemahi Bhagavat Shri Mahaprasadaki Gaur Premanande Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Please come take Prashadam. Haribo. Prashadam served in the picnic area just outside, out this door and into the courtyard. Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Hare Krishna.